You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB podcast. It's episode 199. We are one away from the big 200, and well, it's going to be fucking great. We'll talk about that more towards the end of the show, but oh shit. Strap in. We did something cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. As always, it's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
What's going on, man? Just having a good time. Enjoying the days.
The quick, does it get dark as quick as it does out here for you guys? Like, is it 5 o'clock and it's dark?
Yeah, I'm basically leaving work and it's like the sun setting, so
it's fucking terrible. That's the worst part of this time of year, I think. But the best part is we are full swing into hockey season. You wouldn't know by the Hawks schedule this past week, but hey, lots of hockey going on, lots of cool shit going on, lots of scary stuff going on throughout the NHL, a lot of stupid shit going on throughout the NHL. We'll get to that in NHL talk. We have more NHL talk than Hawks talk, it feels like. And honestly, with the past few years of the Blackhawks, no news is great news. I am so happy that there's not much to talk about when it comes to this team.
I mean, yeah, it was just 2 games.
2 games. So yeah, let's get right into it. 2 games. First off, they played the LA Kings. That was last Thursday in the United Center. And this one I did not watch.
I mean, it was a fine game. I think I was kind of like split paying attention. I had the game on, but I don't know. It was okay. When you're half paying attention, just kind of listening along to hear if there's any excitement in the voice of like Foster's really, and then not much happening, but tough game. Like when I was paying attention, it was just a lot of back and forth.
Looking at the stats, it looks like LA was all over them.
Yes.
Shots,
yeah,
33 shots on goal for LA versus the Hawks, 19. Face-off percentage was 60-40 in favor of the Kings. And you were mentioning it, they were talking about Jonathan Toews struggling in the dot. He finished with a 24% win percentage in the face-off circle, which is not good at all.
Not very Jonathan Toews like. At some point in the third period, they had mentioned that he had only won 3 face-offs at the time, and he was like 3 for 17. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he had like a 16% like at that time or something. It was just very weird.
Weird. Yeah, you don't hear that much. Not a lot of penalties. Kings over 2 on the power play. Hawks 0 for 1. No goals in the first period. Second period, Hawks got on the board first. Jason Dickinson, his 4th of the season from Jones and Ruse. And then LA ties it up about 4 minutes later. Blake Lizotti. God damn it.
Lizotte.
I am trying.
That's great. I love it.
Ties it up. No goals in the third. Then about a minute 31 into overtimes, the captain, Jonathan Toews, buries home the game winner for his 7th of the year. Don't call it a comeback on a career for Jonathan Toews.
Yeah. And at the time, it was his 6th point in a row, or 6 games in a row. I think it was points, or it might have been goals. Pretty sure it was points. At least points. Could be just goals.
Yeah, he's feeling this year. McCabe and Anthony or Anthony or however you want to say it. Athanasiou, whoever say it. Yeah. That's what I feel good because nobody knows how to say that one. I feel like it's said different by everybody.
It's like when Bufflin was first in Chicago and everybody's like, what? Just call him Big Buff. Like, yeah, you can call him AA. It's fine. Yeah. That play was a good play though. Like McCabe just was able to corral the puck and drew the defender. It was kind of like a broken play in the 3-on-3, and Toews just went back door and found him in a little tap in. And then it's said and done. Get out of the United Center. See you later.
And that snapped the 4-game losing streak too for the Hawks, I believe, right? If I'm remembering correctly, getting my game straight. So it was nice to get back in the win column for Chicago. Again, Soderblom just playing amazing hockey. This kid's gonna be good, and I'm really getting excited to see that he probably is going to be a huge part of the future for the goaltending for this team for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe he's only 23 years old because he's playing super solid. I feel like last year when he was playing in the games, I mean, that team was clearly not clicking like they were this year,
Yeah.
but like it didn't seem like he was very confident, I guess. And now, like going into the games, I feel like he's making every save, and like the only ones that are going in are like kind of eh, like their tips or like rebounds and stuff like that. So it's the same. It's I don't know how our goalie situation has worked out this year, where like a majority of the games so far have been great goaltending games, and they've only gotten beaten on like those tips and like deflections, and like they're not getting beaten like one on one, really, just like on the shot itself,
Right.
which is crazy to me because I feel like even the best goalies in the league will get beat. Um, which kind of goes into like the next game where it happened a little bit more where he was getting beat off of just like regular shots, but like throughout the 4 games he's played so far, I mean, record doesn't reflect how well he's played because he's 1-2-0-1, but 2.77 goals against average, but a 9.24 save percentage is pretty fucking good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I like how you said it, like his confidence seems to be there this year. And I think too,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of goes with the whole, theme with this team this year. Like expectations are low. There's no expectations. Literally, you win a game and you're defying expectations this season. And I think that's helping a lot, especially for these young guys coming in, knowing that it's like, hey, you can make mistakes. You can, try a little bit extra. And, if it fails, it's like, hey, it's a learning experience kind of thing. And I think that's key to probably for him. It's getting him to be nice and relaxed in the net, knowing that regardless what happens, it's not the end of the world. It's not like he's expected to be
right
a top guy in this league and have to win every single game. And that's the big part that is just awesome for him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like for them to lose these games, but
Right.
they're
Yeah.
playing so well, so that's also really good to see.
Losses.
Like it's in especially like we were saying too, they got outshot pretty hard, and they won this game solely because Soderblom is playing so solid,
Stole the game.
and it's kind
Yeah.
of great to know that we have that. Like that's our prospect really, and he wasn't even the guy that's supposed to be like the next one, right? Like Drew Comessa was like the guy that we drafted. That's going to be our when we're hitting our stride back into like playoff contending. Like, well, I mean, Soderblom is already showing it. Like,
like you said, he
trade
wasn't.
Comessa now, dude. Fuck it.
Yeah. You're saying like he wasn't even supposed to be the next one. And I think that also could be a thing too. He might be taking it a little bit personally, like a little chip on his shoulder, like, hey, this is my team. I'm gonna take this position and you're not gonna overlook me. I'm gonna be in here. And for someone that was just kind of a throw-in player just to be in the system, I mean, fuck, let's go.
I think that's just another one of those things where he was playing overseas, undrafted player. I swear to God, our Euro scouts are just
Awesome.
incredible. They're so good. They're so fucking good. I love it. So going into the next game, hey,
this was just first off, it was a very bad game in my opinion in general. Like it just felt like a snooze fest. It just didn't feel like, at least in the first period for the Jets, but overall it just felt like the Hawks with the afternoon start, they couldn't get going. They like something like I don't know how to explain what it looked like to me, but not good hockey. First period, no goals against. Then the second period, the floodgates open. Power play goal, shorthanded goal, power play goal. Special teams was just firing on all cylinders for the Winnipeg Jets. Then going into this third period, Soderblom actually did not return to the game. He left with an injury, and I don't know if it was ever disclosed exactly what the injury.
I don't think so because it's not something that would end up being like a long term. It was just something that he couldn't return to the game for, I guess.
So with him out, the Hawks went on to their fourth string goalie.
It's really the fifth because Jackson Stauber is supposed to be the fourth, but he got injured in the AHL during this time too. So
the fifth string, Dylan Wells, gets in the action for the first time and kid looked pretty good.
I mean I don't know if he was a little shaky on the power play goal, but I mean, there's not really much that you could do about that. He just got beat high. But other than that, completely shut the door for the whole period. It was just pretty funny. Like, all right, come on in, buddy. It's very, I think they were mentioning it like Scott Foster-esque, and it was also Scott Foster came in against Winnipeg as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, that's kind of funny. And I mean, the Hawks didn't end up scoring or anything like that. It's just kind of felt like they couldn't really get anything going. It's that similar vibe to like the Islanders, except for they didn't really get any last shots on the Islanders. It was just Hellebuck is also good. He's just
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. They're having a much better season this year too in Winnipeg rather than like the last like year or so. I don't really know what they did 2 years ago. I can't remember, but like
Just surprising. Like
last year
a lot of
wasn't really
people,
much.
yeah, a lot of people had this team finishing near the bottom of this division as well. Like, not like completely the bottom, like towards the middle of the pack, like outside of the
Right.
wild card spot looking in. But the stats for this one: Hawks 30 shots on goal, Jets 37. Face off percentage was a little bit better for the Hawks, 52% to the 48. Dome it was his turn to have the really bad day in the draw. He finished with 27% in the face off circle, and Taves had a nice little bounce back at 62%. Again, like we said, the special teams unit just absolutely shine for the Jets. 3 for 4 on the power play. Hawks were 0 for 3, including letting up that shorthanded goal. Yeah, Dylan Wells probably star of the game for this one for the Hawks. 12 of 13, in the save for a 923 save percentage.
Yeah, because there's not really much else,
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for that game. So I guess do you have any more opinions on those two games?
No, and it's just 500 hockey. So
Win some, lose some. So yeah, let's do real quick. Let's do the 3 stars for essentially the last week. So those last 2 games. I'll start first star. I'm gonna give it to Dylan Wells for making his NHL debut and doing a great job.
first star, number
Yeah,
one.
yeah, number one.
Yeah. Well,
Or do you want to move it
okay.
down?
No, you're
No?
fine. That's great. I would say probably go with, I mean, Soderblom too. Just go goalie and goalie. Only letting up 1 goal in the LA game and then 3 in the Winnipeg game made a lot of saves.
Yeah.
I think what was it? All right, so 4 goals on like 50 something plus shots. Like
So
he's just killing it.
24, yeah, 24 and 33.
Yeah, so
That's
57.
57. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
great. And then third star, just give to the captain for the game winning goal.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
Why not?
So some news before we'll get to the preview of the week up ahead. With all the goalie injury going on, we were kind of curious, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Because there wasn't news on Soderblom coming out yet. But luckily on the 7th, it was announced that Mrazek was coming off the IR. So he is good to go. He will probably more than likely play tonight against LA again. They put Stalak on the IR for still being concussion protocol. It sucks, unfortunately, for him. I really was enjoying watching him play. So hopefully he can recover, a little bit quicker. And then they sent down Dylan Wells to Rockford, which means Soderblom injury was just a minor thing that they probably just didn't want to push it, given the situation with the goaltending. So, good news there. So coming up this week, like I said, LA tonight. LA is currently 8-6-1. Little revenge game for the Kings. See if they can bounce back on that. So since they played the Hawks, they've won two games. So doing a little bit better. After that on Saturday, you have the Anaheim Ducks, who's currently 4-8-1. Should be a game the Hawks win. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I don't want them to.
Yeah, don't want them to, but they probably will. And it's in 2 with the LA and Anaheim game. Hawks gonna have a little extra motivation because it's the father's trip. All the dads.
And they're going all the way out to Cali. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So they got that
That's
going
pretty
for them.
nice.
So after the 2 road games, the Hawks come back home to Chicago, and on Monday, the 14th, they take on the Carolina Hurricanes, who are 8-3-1, but are currently playing the Florida Panthers. And then on Wednesday, we welcome the St. Louis Blues. We will talk a little bit about them in NHL Talk, but they are currently 3-8.
I mean, fuck it. They are setting records this season right now.
They started the season 3-0. Let me put it out that. Let me put that out. They started the season
since then they've set the record or franchise record, 8 consecutive regulation losses. Oh man, that is just not good, huh? I love it.
How's Jordan Binnington going for you guys out there in St. Louis?
Everybody in their like all the comments on like whenever there's a St. Louis post is like Binnington's like playing so well, the team's just doing shit. It's like, I mean, our team's not supposed to be great. Our goalie's playing really well, and our team's not doing shit. Like,
let's see, Binnington's last 5 games. Edmonton, he well, not too bad. That's probably the first game that was decent. 25 saves. Yeah, 25 saves on 27 shots. Then Montreal, 18 saves on 24 shots. LA Kings, 14 saves on 19 shots. New York Islanders, 25 saves on 29 shots. And then Boston, he didn't do too bad. 34 saves on 37 shots. What's also noted here is back-to-back games of chirping the other bench and trying to start a fight with the opposing goalie.
Yeah. I mean, I just want someday, like, I feel like maybe players don't try to fight him because they're too busy laughing at him.
But at some point, he's gonna pull that shit on the wrong person, right? Like it's bound to happen.
I mean, it's a joke. It's literally a joke. I feel like at this point, everybody knows he's gonna do it, and they're just like, "Let the kid cry."
Yeah,
I would love to see it, but
I would start a GoFundMe for the fine that player gets for fucking knocking Binnington out. Like whatever fine he gets, I will start a GoFundMe and I will donate $1,000 my own money to that.
Oof. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. So come on, Dome on Wednesday. Let's do it.
So St. Louis is tied for last in the league with Columbus right now.
And here's the thing, too. I thought about this. We're all happy that St. Louis is doing bad. But what if this keeps up and they end up winning the lottery and they get Bedard?
I don't know. They'll probably want to leave. St. Louis sucks. Probably come up Mississippi River.
Oh my God. All right. Last thing I got for Hawk Stock here. A little prospect update.
Yeah.
Kevin Torchinski is off to a hot start in Seattle in the WHL. In 11 games this year, he's got 2 goals and 17 assists. I believe there's only one player with more assists than him in the WHL. Connor Bedard.
Could be. Yep.
So he is doing pretty fantastic. I'm super excited. It's like one of those things too. It's like you're watching that. It's like clearly he probably needs to move up to the next level and not waste much more time in junior hockey. But at the same time, you don't want to rush him.
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to rush it, you know? Well, who else is playing well? Let's see.
Brett Seney, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing in Rockford. He extended his point streak to 7 games. He's got 12 points in those 7 games, 5 goals, 7 assists.
That's not really a prospect though. That kid's 26 years old.
Yeah, it's under the prospect page.
It's not.
Hey, I'm
reading. It's just in the minors.
Yeah.
What's Lucas Reichel been up to?
That's actually a good question. Let me look that up.
He's got 11 points in 9 games in the AHL right now. 5 goals, 6 assists.
He even had a bad game too, and he even said like, he goes, "Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm here." He goes, "I need to, learn from these kind of like mistakes and situations and get better at that, so I can take that next step." So I don't fully remember what the details were, like what happened, why he was talking like that, but it's nice to see that he realizes that why he's in Rockford, and that it's
Yeah.
not just like a fuck you type of thing. It's like, hey, you got to get to this point of your game, improve too. You can't just rely on your points and your skill set like that.
True.
So
I mean, he's gonna just dominate that league, and that's completely fine with me because then he'll be super ready when he makes it to the show. Let's see. Colton Dock has 4 points in 4 games in the WHL. I don't know if he's injured then because 4 points or 4 games seems like pretty low.
I think he had a head injury again. I don't know if he came back from that. I don't remember how many games into the season that was though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. Wasn't it in the preseason?
So he was in concussion protocol from the prospects game against Minnesota. And then he played the last preseason game for the Hawks. And then at some point in the either the first couple of games back in juniors in the season, he left the game early after getting hit in the head. And I haven't heard anything about that since, if that's the same thing or if he's missing something else.
I hope everything's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. How's Camesso doing? Camesso's got 3 games played, an 8.77 and a 3.66 save per goals against average. Trade him. We don't need him. Get rid of him.
Soderblom scaring him.
Go all in on Soderblom now.
But yeah, you got anything else for Hot Stock?
No, I don't think so. I think that's about it.
All right. So fuck. Where do you want to start with NHL Talk?
Evander Kane almost lost a hand.
Yeah. Almost lost his life.
I mean, who knows how serious it was, but with
they were saying
if you haven't seen the video, there is the skate goes over the wrist, and then there's the pool of blood immediately. So it's not great.
Yeah, they were saying too, if he was on the other side of the rink, that it could have been a lot worse because how fast he was able to get to the bench, to the locker room for them to put pressure and do whatever they need to do is what was the difference maker there. Like if he was just on that other side of the ice, it could have been a lot worse because it would take
That's
for
wild.
the trainers to get to him and for him to get to the locker room.
Well, he ended up having successful surgery.
Yes.
And he's out 3 to 4 months, which seems like a very short time frame for something that seems almost life threatening.
Yeah, it's that doesn't seem like a lot, and then it also seems like it's too much. Like I don't know. Like you think about surge. I don't know.
You think about Clint Malarchuk had his throat cut and then came back the next day or next week. Actually, he was out a week.
Yeah. But yeah. So there's that going on. This one is on the list, and I don't know if we want to tackle it yet, or do you want to feel good
Ryan
stuff?
Reynolds is gonna buy.
All right. The Ottawa Senators, since we recorded, there was rumors that the Ottawa Senators were going to be for sale. It was confirmed that the team is up for sale. They put one requirement on it that the team must stay in Ottawa, which when I first heard that, I'm like, you're selling the team. Do you really have a say in that kind of stuff? If the person's going to spend the money for this team, shouldn't they have a say in that?
I mean, even if they wanted to move the team, they'd have to get permission from the NHL, wouldn't they?
Right,
you
but
can't just
still,
put a team anywhere.
It's just weird saying it's like, yeah, we're gonna sell you our team. You know, you're gonna pay us a shit ton of money, but you have to keep them here.
Yeah,
and it's like there's a market problem there. It's like unless they have to get a stadium in downtown Ottawa. That's the problem. That's a huge problem. So
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I didn't know that was an issue.
Yeah, that's an issue. It's like they're out in Bufu,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so
I thought it was just because they're tucked right by Montreal and Toronto. They're kind of screwed.
I mean,
the fan bases are too massive.
But they're not. Yeah, their location of the arena, it's not directly downtown. It's kind of like an Arizona situation where it was far away
outside the city.
Yes, yeah.
So away from a good airport.
Exactly. So there's that. And then when that news broke, somebody tweeted Ryan Reynolds like, "Hey, you should come be the owner of our franchise." And he tweeted out an emoji, like a thinking emoji. And after that happened, everybody's like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds is interested in buying the Ottawa Senators." I'm like, we're really saying he's got serious interest in buying a team based on an emoji tweet? But
Yeah, why overreaction from
yeah,
an emoji? Yeah, why not? This is fucking 2022.
but then he goes on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon the other night, and he asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah, he is really interested." He said it's a lot of money though, and he basically is looking for a sugar mama or sugar daddy to help him buy the team. So, and then the next night he shows up to the Ottawa Senators game and gets a
Yeah,
standing ovation from everybody in the crowd. Like
it's so funny to me. The
either this
team's
is
good. Like, I mean, on paper, that team is like primed to be like a good team. Where are they sitting? Oh, they're not good right now, though. They're four
no,
and
they're
eight.
not doing good.
Holy shit!
But
But
here's the funny thing: it's like either this is the greatest PR stunt in history of the NHL, or Ryan Reynolds is gonna make hockey fun again and entertaining. Like, can you just imagine like what he's been doing with that football team from over in England with Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny? Like, they're it's just they turned that team around. They're having a lot of fun with it. They're doing a documentary about it and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, I
And
haven't paid
like
attention to that.
bring that into the NHL. That would be awesome. I think that would be great for the game, and it would really. You're talking about things how to grow the sport. Bringing Ryan Reynolds as an owner will
Yeah,
grow this sport.
it'll be the Ottawa Senators, and they'll be sponsored by Mint Mobile and Aviation Gin, and then they'll just change their logo to like Deadpool.
Yeah, that was a cool mock-up. I saw somebody took the Senators logo and took the face out and put Deadpool's face in it. Oh, so cool. Um,
So silly.
silly stuff too. Cooperalls
Yeah,
made their
yeah,
return
man.
to the ice.
Yeah, but not for the whole game, which is
It's so stupid.
stupid.
Yeah. Either commit or like shit or get off the pot. Let's go.
Right? Like, is it against the rules or something?
Like, I don't know. But it looks so goofy, but it was so cool at the same time.
I think it's just the nostalgia of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was part of the Philadelphia Flyers reverse retro. Some of the reverse retros have already started being used in the league. From the ones you remember, what hits and miss full setups. We've talked about jerseys, but like now we're finally seeing like how they look with the full equipment and all that, and that's a huge effect on this too.
Just from straight up memory, I
Yeah,
think the Vancouver ones I think were nice. I did like the setup of the Jets. I just feel like the Jets logo, it would have looked cooler if it was like Tampa's,
yeah.
which was like weird. But
Tampa's was hilarious. Like they did a video of the
yeah, I
players
love
seeing.
those.
Did you see that video of the players seeing the jersey for the first
Oh
time?
no.
Dude, they're like, "Oh my god, this is so bad, it's good." And one guy's like, he's like, "This," huh? They're like, "What do you think of it?" Huh? Well, the fans wanted it, so I guess we'll stick with that. And they all thought that the lightning on the sleeves were flames. They're like, "Why do you have flames on the sleeves? We're the lightning?" And they're like, "No, it's lightning." And they're like, "Oh no, that looks
Bolt.
like flames."
It looks like it's a bolt of lightning. Let's stick to hockey, guys. We're
Yeah.
not meteorologists.
My favorite, I think, was the Washington Capitals.
I
Um,
honestly don't really care for that jersey.
really? Oh my god, it's so sick. And then like the was it Kemper's setup too? He went with
Oh, I didn't see it.
he went with like the Ulf closing. Oh
Oh, Olaf Kolzig.
yeah, his
I
like
heard about
his
that.
mask and his pads kind of stuff like inspired by it. It was so sick. The worst one so far for me is Buffalo with the all
Yeah,
white.
all white. It was just too much. Too much white. Um, yeah, tossing the blue pants. Something. The gloves look nice though. I
Yeah,
did like the gloves.
yeah. It's the same thing. It's like the same thing with the Sharks jerseys. Their home teal. It's like you put black pants with that uniform. It's
Oh,
awesome. It's perfect. All teal. It's too much.
yeah, they look like I don't know, kind of weird out there with the whole one monotone like setup.
Yeah, you got to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
fashion advice from us.
Yeah. All right, so no more beating around the bush. The last topic we have on our list here for NHL Talk is something I thought we were never gonna have to talk about when it came to professional hockey again. And of course, Boston Bruins had to go and pull a Boston Bruins move and sign Mitchell Miller to a entry level deal. If you don't remember who Mitchell Miller is, or you've been under a rock over the past 5 days or so, Mitchell Miller was the player who was drafted in the 4th round by the Arizona Coyotes, who the Coyotes then rescinded their rights to this player because of brutal bullying allegations that came out against him. And the way he tormented a kid back in like middle school and junior high. So they rescinded his rights, essentially making him a free agent. And for some reason, the Boston Bruins thought it was a good idea to sign him to a contract. Never. I mean, there's so much here with this. They never talked to the victim's family about any of this. They never talked to
Any
Gary
of the
Bettman
yeah.
or the NHL.
The crazy thing about it too is like when you say like bullying, it's like, oh yeah, kids get bullied. But yeah, like this kid went to court for this. The
Yes.
kind of bullying that like was happening over years and years and years and was found guilty, like pled guilty to like basic almost like assault charges.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
essentially
fucking
was. Yeah.
so wild. And he was a court ordered apology, which I think he did. Where I mean, if it's a court ordered apology, it's not like a real
But
remorseful one. It was just like the one that like you have to do because the court said so. But then he was also supposed to like be a part of some like anti-bullying organizations and stuff. And I feel like I think it came out that like not all of the obligations that he had towards those were even fulfilled. And it's just like you've had so many years since this happened. And like the thing that's crazy to me is like you go online and all the people that are trying to defend this fucking kid because they're like, oh, like everybody did some fucked up shit when they were 14. It's like, yeah, okay. But like if you were also tried in a court and pled guilty because of all the fucked up shit you did, you would assume that at some point you probably apologize, especially if I don't know, maybe like an NHL contract is on the line and all
right.
you have to do is like show some remorse and you fucking don't. And then a week before you're about to sign an NHL contract again, like you just go reach out through Instagram to say that you're apologizing and then specify it's not because of hockey. When it's like, yeah, clearly it's because of fucking hockey, man. Like you're trying to cover some tracks in a really shitty way. It's like the tracks you're trying to cover is like a 20-ton truck going through wet mud and you just are taking a brush and like just trying to
Yeah.
cover the tracks with that. Like that's not fucking happening. Like, it's so stupid.
It's brutal, and it's like I don't know I don't even know who makes the decisions in Boston like that, because like Cam Neely was saying like he wasn't consulted about this, or he like I don't understand that. And then they were saying that they did talk to the leadership group out there, and none of them thought it was a good idea. Like the first question they asked, or the first reaction they had to when they were told about it, was why.
Yeah.
Like Foligno straight out said, like, no, we don't want this in our locker room.
Yeah.
Like he's like what does that say when like people who have even met you, aren't even like, well, you know what? He was a kid. Let's give him a chance, kind of thing. They're just like, no, we don't. No, straight up, no. He's not a part of this. We don't want him in this locker room. Like it's bullshit that he's even getting the time of day, getting his name back
Mhm.
out there and all that kind of stuff. And a rare Bettman win saying that he's disqualified from the league. Like he's
Yeah.
not allowed to play in this league until he goes through a process to reinstate himself. And he doesn't know he straight up said, he goes, I don't know if he will ever be qualified to play in the NHL.
Yeah. And then even like the AHL was just like, oh, if you're not allowed to play in one league, then you're not allowed to play in this league. It's just like,
Yeah,
yeah, you can't even play the A. Like,
so
so
he's probably gonna have to be Russia.
yeah,
Russia
welcome to
bound
Russia.
KHL, where they will probably greet him like a savior over there, because they're fucking scums too. Sorry.
Oh, he's gonna end up being on what is it, the Moscow team?
The Putin team.
Yeah, it's crazy that like Cam Neely came out with a statement saying like due to new information coming forward, it's like what new information? The backlash
Did you
that like
yeah.
that your whole organization has like gotten from like this signing. It's like, yeah, that's some new information. Like I'm pretty sure you could have predicted that if you actually really looked into it. Even their own fans were just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I would have.
And I think it's funny because they were on a 7-game winning streak as well. And Toronto wasn't playing too hot. And then Toronto beat them. And it's like, oh, distractions, huh? Like we're doing too well. Let's fuck this up then.
But no, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I had something and then I forgot. You were on a roll. What you're saying?
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm glad you got your point out there, because you're on a roll there. Yeah, I don't know. What was I gonna say?
Was it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's just so brutal. And then the victim released a statement today. I don't know if it was today or yesterday or whenever.
It was released through the Hockey Diversity Alliance. So like Akeem Alou, like he had sent a statement to him and then he released that on like Twitter.
Yeah, and him just describing everything that he went through from middle school through junior high and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, I understand kids bully, kids are stupid, dumb kids do dumb shit when they're young and all that. But the stuff that he went through, that what Mitch put him through,
Since first grade, it says too.
Yeah.
Like this is up through high school.
That's a fucking mental problem. Like this kid is fucking sick in the head to do the shit that he did to someone else. And it's just, honestly, I hope this is the last time we ever talk about this guy. And I hope this is the last time we hear of his name involved anywhere near North American hockey. Because you're going to hear from fucking Russia or Europe and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, not going to probably hear about it at all. Probably just going to.
There'll be one thing like, oh,
it'll be out there.
Scumbag signs in Russia, kind of. It'll be like
one. Yeah, whenever he actually signs in the K.
Yeah, but it's like, I just hope it's a name that we will never hear associated with an NHL team, an AHL team, an ECHL team, SPHL team, any of the fucking leagues over here. He didn't deserve it, the chance with Arizona, and he definitely didn't deserve it with Boston. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what other team would actually want this kind of a headache, even 8 years from now. Like
every 31 other NHL teams, HR and PR departments better be like sending a memo to their entire leadership core of their teams and like, listen, do not touch. That's what I want to talk about. The PR team in Boston probably had to been like, oh, here's the statement, we signed this player, and then all of a sudden the backlash, and they're just probably like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Like God, they better get paid overtime for all the work they probably had to do on social media.
Their social media team just like, what did we do?
What is going on? Some intern that's just responsibility to post the stuff on the weekend is just like, I'm just getting yelled at for like just posting this. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, so
shit's funny.
Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, I hope that's the last of that. Bye, Mitch.
Yeah.
See you never.
All right. Do you got anything else?
I think that's all.
It's a quick episode this week.
I mean, 2 games, man. Not much.
And not much to talk about the Hawks.
Oh, there's a couple guys like Slivkovsky got suspended for 2 games for hitting Matt Luff from behind. I mean,
he's out 10 to 12 weeks.
I mean, it's kind of just a stupid play, but he also just towers over that guy. So I don't know if he was really trying to like really throw him into the boards or if he was just putting some weight into him because like he's much bigger than Matt Luff. Like at least in that like situation, he looked like way bigger.
It was
And
like
then
copy paste the Josh Anderson though.
did I see that?
That was the one that Poets on against Patches. Pacioretty, he got 2 games for suspended for that too.
Oh,
And the difference
interesting.
is Pacioretty got right up and jumped to Anderson. Where
Yeah.
Luff is out 10 to 12 weeks with a broken wrist and a broken nose.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he had to have surgery on his wrist for all that kind of stuff. But it's like,
So wrist surgeries are in right now.
yeah, so hot right now. But there
Oh
was a
man.
Reddit post I was seeing, and it's like, is this the fastest a player has ever been suspended in their career? Because that was like 10 games.
Oh, maybe.
Like, I can't think of a player that was suspended quicker.
I don't know. I
Like,
mean, the players that would probably tend to like get suspended probably don't play so early in like their career. I guess I don't know.
but yes, Josh Anderson also 2 games for like the exact same hit. Um, Thrill the Krill or Krill the Thrill.
Kirill the
Kaprizov
Thrill Kaprizov.
got fined $5,000 for some reason thinking he can cross check Doughty in the face and not.
He really just punched him with his stick in his hand. Like,
It was so weird. Like, but
yeah,
he's fine for
he
that. Drew Doughty gives the nice little wave as he gets off the ice.
kicks him out. He got kicked out of the game. Roberto Luongo going into the Hall of Fame as
That's
only third ever goalie with 1,000+ games played, with just others being Martin Brodeur and Patty Waugh.
Yeah, that's on Monday. So real quick, let's pull up the inductees. Let's see. Okay, it's the Sedin twins, Daniel Alfredson, Roberto Luongo. Those are the NHL ones.
That's it.
There's 2 other ones. Female Finnish player Rika Salainen
Okay, yeah, that's what I
and
would say.
Herb Carnegie.
Carnegie,
Carnegie.
yeah.
Uh,
Herb.
Herb. So I'm thinking probably going for like builders.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So that's on Monday. So that's crazy too. Like when I saw that stat, I knew Luongo played a lot. I did not think he was 1,000 games. That's insane.
Well, that's because I feel like I didn't really pay attention to what he was playing when he first came into the league, when he was like with
Yeah.
the Panthers and when he was with the Islanders, right? Like,
Let's see.
all-time franchise wins leader for both the Canucks and the Panthers. That's pretty
So
fucking crazy.
Islanders. He played 24 games with in 99, 2000, then 2000, 2001, Florida Panthers was his first season. He was with them until through the 2005-06 season. Then it was Vancouver until 2014.
Back to Panthers.
Yep, at the deadline, he got traded back to the Panthers, and then that's where he finished off. Even his last year, he still played 43 games. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
I didn't feel like he was that much in the spotlight until like it was those years when they were battling against the Hawks. But yeah, I mean, he was in the league for like fucking 10 years before that.
He was a surprise to be inducted too, wasn't he?
Oh, I doubt it.
No,
I wouldn't say so. He's fourth on the all-time wins list.
yeah, that's true. He just doesn't have like the awards. That's
Yeah,
why.
he just has that. He's the Jennings that he shared with Schneider in 2010, 2011.
But it's also the Hockey Hall of Fame, and they take in consideration international play, and he's got
Yeah.
gold medals and all
He's
that.
also he had the C in Vancouver,
True.
technically.
Yeah.
So I mean, good for him. I hated him at the time, but I think he's great.
The second he left Vancouver, I liked him.
Yeah.
It was just because he was on a Vancouver team, but I think he's absolutely hilarious. He was so funny, and it's just a matter of time before I think he's a GM in the league, because I think he's like being the GM of Team Canada for the World Juniors, I think, coming up. Or he was like something with the Olympics. He was part of it. Like he's learning the ropes and all that. So matter of time before he's back in the NHL there. But yeah, congrats to all those guys.
Yeah.
All right, I think that should do it. Episode 199. Next Thursday, episode 200. Took a little bit to get here. Little pauses here and there, but we got there.
Hey, we're getting time things worked out.
Yeah, we're getting it better. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss this episode. We have an interview. We have a guest. It was about 52 minutes with this guy. Probably could have gone another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think we said a total of 10 words, maybe the entire interview.
Not really. I mean, to exaggerate. It's funny. There is a lot of live updates from the Edmonton and Tampa game.
Yeah, it is hilarious. The Evander Kane news got broken to us by our guest mid-interview, so you'll hear that in there. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube to watch it, because it was a video interview. He was on video for it. Follow us Spotify and Apple Podcasts to listen to it, and follow us on social media so you get the first preview next Wednesday who it's going to be when we do our little teaser for it. But before we go, episode 199, what do you want to call
it? I'm honestly been trying to think of something for the past 2 minutes. Arvid SoderFuture. He's the future of the Hawks in that.
SoderFuture. All right. So that's episode 199. Arvid SoderFuture. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Subscribe to all of them. 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Social media at WCB Podcast. YouTube. Find us at WCB Podcast now on YouTube. That's our new channel for it. It's nice and easy to find it now. Other than that, we will see you next week.
All right. Love, boys. Bye.
The Windy City Benders Podcast. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow the boys on socials at WCB Podcast.